in a game like this. You wish your lead was extended a little bit farther.
Look at the tight end facing the wrong way. Traven on that lineup initially. That was interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Cable's going to have to fight off some challenges for some very talented players down there in South Florida. What? Parker, what? Was that a fumble? He threw the ball back onto the field. But he stepped out, fortunately for him. Now, this makes no sense at any level in flag football. Why would you do that?
Patton in motion. They'll give it to him on a reverse. He's got room. Patton to the 5, and he's run out of bounds. First and goal at the 3. There you see the speed.
And he's going to throw it long. And he's got a man there on the run. Kevin Clay. Gone. Touchdown. $79 yards for the score.
Well, they had 57 yards passing last week.
What's going on the field here? Wait a minute.
The entire way. Watch Kalen Clay before he crosses the goal line. He drops the ball clearly.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Wow.
Here comes the pressure. Corral towards the goal line. It is caught. It is a touchdown. Elijah Moore. And they're an extra point away from tying the game. And penalty markers get thrown after the play.
A sportsmanlike conduct foul.
This is the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. And welcome everybody to the Ram Trucks kickoff.
Well, if you didn't watch the game last night, first off, you probably went to bed at a reasonable hour and didn't waste any of your own time. This was an absolutely embarrassment. This is one of the worst kickings I've ever seen in a football game. I know what the scoreboard said. The scoreboard was bad. Watching it in person, I cut it off at halftime. I have people messaging me about the game. There's no point in watching this. I mean, when you're down 28 points, that's a death sentence. I mean, it was 35-7 at half. And I'm not sure Indiana even took their foot off the gas. I mean, it just seemed like there was nothing Oregon can do. I think the Indiana Oregon game was I feel like Alabama at least at times could slow Indiana down. I don't feel like Oregon did that at all. But I felt like Oregon's offense was much better than Alabama's because Alabama's was non-existent. Oregon's, at least they got the double digits. At least they got out of the first few prime numbers. Jeez, this was just terrible. I mean, looked woefully unprepared. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. The one thing I will say, the one thing I will pick on them about was their helmets were for Indiana were absolutely terrible. I mean, the damn stickers on their helmets were coming off, and I get it. You know, not everything's perfect, but by God, I mean, you got this stuff going on with the stickers on their helmet. I'm all distracted and irritated because I can't stop looking at the damn sticker. See let me pause this. Let me go back. So that was actually a decent close up here. Let's see. All right. Trying to get where he's not moving so much. Okay, here we go. All right. If you look, trying to find a good full screen here. And I don't know if you guys can see it on your screen, but maybe you guys can see my mouse right here. the eye on the Indiana eye goes over, not around, not cut, so that it will wrap into the gap here. They just said, you know what? Screw it. We're going to put it over the damn hole in the helmet. And I mean, all night long, those things were coming off those helmets, man. It was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I mean, who's guarding this guy? Whose job was this? Right, look. Look. Okay. We've got an Oregon guy middle of the field. Okay. This guy is beat so bad. Like, he doesn't even know what in the hell is going on. He is literally 5 yards away from this guy. Hey, he's 6 before he turns. And he's like, "Oh, snap, that was my guy." Yeah, that was your guy, my guy. That was your guy. Kirk Cignetti is not going to be at Indiana long. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I don't care. I just don't care. There's no way. Man, you got to find a better hotel, my guy. Damn. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, Playboy. Let's let it go. At this point, look, guys, this is not even halfway through the third quarter. And we're at 42 points. 42 to 17. 42. Watch. Indiana knows their plays. Watch on the high side here, the defensive linebacker right here. The moment they know this formation, the moment this guy goes in motion, he goes, "Yep, it's going over there." Linebacker's reading him. This is I don't know if this is a linebacker. It looks like a linebacker. He's a big boy. They know the play. They know it. Stepped up. See, he's coming around to get it. This is like one of the few times in the game that they got any kind of push. Look at Oregon's line. You got one guy who is batting 1,000. We got right here at the top of the screen, you got, look at this. These two guys are all wadded up. They don't know what's going on. These guys, yeah, they got him pushed out of the play. You got one guy here who's stood his ground. He's already wrapped up because he missed his block. These two guys are out of position. And he manages to wiggle in somehow. You mean to tell me that Oregon could only get two guys to push forward? Now, maybe that was the design play to push all those guys to the outside, but I'm having trouble buying into that theory. We're going to start over at the beginning because this was an embarrassment. Like, Kurt Cignetti came to show off. Like, he came to show off. And because I'm playing replays, if the stream gets taken down or whatever, I'll start another stream if it'll let me. But watch this. This is a pick six. Who are you throwing this to? This is a week late. So this ball should be out right. The ball should already be out. The ball should already be out. Every single defender for Indiana already knows. Every one of them is looking at the quarterback size. They all know that this ball is going to be a check down. Look at his body language. He's already shifting because he knows he's not going to get in the backfield. He knows this ball is coming out. Should have already been out. Ball should have been gone. Ball should be landing right now. And when it's not, this lets the defenders get 2-3 steps. He sees it coming. He steps up. Yoink. He said, "Excuse me, that's mine." Taking it to the house. He's like, "I'm not even worried about you. Gotta get off me." There's a great example. Look right here on the right. Look, the stickers on their helmets wrapped over the open spot. Whoever's in charge of you guys' equipment needs to be fired immediately because this is just a terrible design. Absolutely unacceptable. It definitely was a comedy show. Look at this. Great pass. So when you see this and you're like, okay. Oregon's kind of all right. So Oregon had a bad first drive. They come out here, they get a good second drive, they go down the field and score. At this point, Indiana's offense had done nothing in this game. Then Indiana marches right down the field after a couple of change of possessions. Look at this. Perfect. This is kind of like a little pick and roll here. So you'll see the wide receiver cuts in. This draws over, and he's thinking that this ball is going to be to the back of the end zone. So he starts to make that step, and then he realizes, oh, snap, that's not where the ball is going. The ball is going to the front left corner. It's too late. This is what happens when you throw the ball on time. That one little step gets him out of position. We're going to back up a little bit. Right here. He's looking across. He's like, this is my guy. So you've got the matchup you want. Quarterback takes a snap, fakes the handoff moderately. This turn right here, when he's standing there flat-footed, he doesn't know which way to go. Watch. Flat-footed, gone. Terrible. This is like the first time that Oregon's played football. It's like they have no idea how to play football. And by the way, Kirk Cignetti, I'll be the first to tell you I was wrong about that guy. As far as the caliber of his team, like they're playing lights out. Okay, here's another thing I want to address. Look at the stands right here. Okay, you see the stands? See all this red up here? This is bull stuff. This is bull stuff. This is not real. And let me explain why. It's Indiana. I think they have about as many fans as UCLA. Now, they have a good football team, and they set a record back in 2014 because they started to play pretty decent, but come on, man. There are not, the stadium's full. Okay. This is in Atlanta. It's right up the road. I know this stadium, been to this stadium recently. That isn't real. There's no such thing as 50 or 60,000 Indiana Hoosier fans that came down to Atlanta to watch Indiana play football against Oregon. That doesn't exist. And one of the reasons that I'm saying that is because if you look at how many fans Oregon has year in and year out, and you don't see all this green and yellow in that stadium, no, I'll try again. This right here was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. This is I've never played football, coach. What do you want me to do? Go back there and be a running back, and when the quarterback snaps the ball, just run past him. He doesn't do that. He runs into him. It was like, really? What are you doing, bro? Even the quarterback's like, who the hell hit my arm? He's like, oh, where'd the ball go? Meanwhile, you have two Indiana defenders streaking for the ball. The running back down here who knows the ball was supposed to be coming to him, sees all of this, and he was like, oh, this is just terrible. Now you've got three guys on the ball. Oregon's offensive line was absolutely trash all night. This is just embarrassing. And then I think it was like 2 plays later, they just punch it in. Nothing. Almost untouched. Here's another one. Ball comes out late. Yep. And let's go back and look here. Let's see why he was running for his life. Mississippi 1, Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, Mississippi 4, Mississippi 5. Your O-line's got to hold for a little while. But look at this. It's not like Indiana is bringing the house here. They bring 4. You have, count them with me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Oregon defenders. And you can't stop, 7. There were 7 Oregon defenders there. And you're telling me you can't protect the quarterback? Look right here at the top of the screen. This guy's covered. So you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you got a deep guy, right? 11. You can pick either this wide receiver or this wide receiver. If this wide receiver turns left, he's got 2 days of area code out there to work with. What happens? Shuffle feet, turns in, turns back out, has a check down guy, doesn't throw that. He's got a defender in his face, decides to, oh, now I need to fold up. No. Ball should have come out way sooner than this. Way sooner. Look at this pretty pass. Now, here's the thing I want to point out. Oregon never turned around, never had a chance at this ball. And for those of you who don't watch college football a whole lot, this ball is massively underthrown. It's underthrown. Look, he's having to slow down, kind of stutter step backpedal. At that point, as a DB, when you see him stutter step and start to slow down, at this point, you need to either go ahead and clobber this guy and just take the 15-yard penalty, or turn your head and hit the ball. Look, what are you doing? Why is your feet on the ground and he's up in the air? You're not paying attention. You never were. Caught. Just, doesn't matter. It's just a touchdown. It's just 27-7. Let's just give up now. Look at this. This right here is a prime example of your linebacker not paying attention, right? He's not even looking at the damn quarterback. Look, he's looking at this guy. You need to quick shift, see where the ball's coming from. They're rolling a pick basically right here. You got to shift guys. And had you been watching the quarterback, you would have known the ball was going to come out. And I'm not saying stare the quarterback down, but at least look. Oh, it's like, oh, had he have glanced up and looked at the quarterback, this is a pick 6. Snagged that right out of there. It almost hit him in the jersey anyway. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. And this is all night. This is all night. Look, out of position. We already looked at this one. Just supremely out of position. No clue what's going on. Defense was oblivious. Never seen a pass before. And here's the crazy thing, right? So you see all of these passes. We're going to get through these. We'll talk about that in a minute. Indiana really didn't pass the ball that much. We saw this earlier. Skip ahead. Go for 2 here. Got PI'd, still got it. All right, let's watch this right here. Sorry, I had to talk with the CEO for a minute there. Jesus Christ, dude, catch the damn ball. What are you doing? And by the way, so let's look at this, right? This is just dumb. Why would you not fair catch that? Because, we think it's going to go out of the end zone. Catch the ball and try to do something with it, man. That was just setting up for failure. Another implosion. Special teams caught. As an Oregon fan, I feel sorry for you. This wasn't kicking on every facet of the game. Look at this. Plenty of time. Bang. Perfect. Now, that right there is one of the few plays that I can say that was not a quote unquote bust by Oregon, because Oregon pushes 4, holds 1 to spy the quarterback, which is what you should do. You got a defender here in this guy's hip pocket. You've got him trying to cover a little bit of zone. He's staying hip pocket on his guy. He messes up here and he gets right back in place. But by then, the ball is already coming out and he's covered. He's covered. This is just a great throw between 2 defenders. That's going to happen sometimes. A perfectly thrown pass is indefensible, and that's what this was. This was a perfectly thrown pass, perfectly executed play. That was definitely Dan Lanning's worst performance as a head coach. There's no doubt. Now, here we are at about the 24-yard line. Handoff. Look, what? Where? Wow. Look. How are you falling down, man? Look, at this moment, as the running back, he's 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. In the middle of the field, we have 5 defenders and most of the offensive line. And then it's like they just run away. These guys overcommit, crash downhill. They see the ball going left, and they're trying to cut off the left side of the field. I get it. Then this right here is an outstanding performance by the Indiana line. Watch this moment right here. Every single one of their players goes forward about 2 steps. So here they are. They get met at the line of scrimmage. Bang. So here, running back 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The whole offensive line goes forward, separate. Nobody in the middle of Oregon's defense to stop that. Just getting bully balled at this point. I mean, by the numbers. So let's do by the numbers. So, not this game. This game. So, before we get into this, I'm going to tell you what's really crazy is that you see across that's 14 points, 21 points, 7 points, 14 points. Okay. The only time that this game felt competitive was in the first quarter for about the first 10, 15 minutes. After that, and 15 minutes of real time, not play clock. This was the highest scoring game I've seen with the least amount of yards. Now, they still had decent yards, but I'll explain what I mean. Oregon's Dante Moore throws for almost 300 yards, but his QBR is 68. That interception really hurt. Average 7.5 yards a pass. Not a great completion percentage, but not terrible. He's somewhere around the 60% mark. Just rough math. Then you've got Mendoza. The way they were playing, man, you would have felt like he was throwing the ball all over the field because you saw the passes. They were just absolutely surgical. I mean, he was hitting. If he threw a pass, they caught it. I mean, he threw for 85% in this game. Absolutely. Oh, man, on the wrong damn screen again. Let me fix that. Sorry, guys. Got to click on the right screen. There we go. So this is what we're talking about. Rushing the ball, running the ball. 4.6 yards a carry, 3.6 yards a carry. Not a great number, but serviceable. Like you can work with 3.5. You can work with 4 yards a carry. 4.5 is pretty good. 3.5 you can work with. 3.5 on first down, 3.5 on second down makes 3rd and 3. I mean, very manageable. Ran the ball 26 times, threw the ball 40. Exactly the opposite. Ran the ball 40, threw the ball 20. I mean, it flip-flopped. They had 177 yards passing. 177. You watch the highlight tape and you're like, what in the hell happened? I'll tell you what happened. Indiana just they just couldn't stop them. Indiana was getting pushed anytime they wanted to get pushed. They get a first down. It was just plodding. Dante fumbled twice. Team fumbled once. Lost 2 turnovers. But here's where it really happened. Here's where the numbers really come into play. If you go down and you look at sacks and tackles for loss, Oregon sacked Mendoza 1 time and they had 5 tackles for loss. Indiana sacked Dante Moore 3 times and had 10 tackles for loss. My Lord. 3 turnovers in a game will hurt you. It will absolutely hurt you. But 3 sacks and 10 tackles for loss is just as bad, if not worse. They just got absolutely outclassed, outcoached in every facet of the game. Offense, defense, special teams, coaching staff, water boy, cheerleader, band section, boosters, concession stand. They got beat at everything. Everything. And I love Dan Lanning, but man, Indiana is just tearing them up. Tearing them up. Now, I was a big believer that the problem that we had was that Indiana was overhyped, right? I thought Indiana was overhyped because when you go back and you look at their schedule, Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State, Illinois, Oregon's a pretty good team. Oregon earlier in the season was a better team than they are today. Iowa, pretty decent team. Michigan State bad, UCLA bad, Maryland bad, Penn State bad, Washington bad, Purdue bad, Ohio State. You saw 13-10. You don't know what to get out of that game. So you're like, these guys are kind of overhyped. And then they go out here and put on, as cliche as it is to sound, an absolute clinic. Like, this was the biggest beatdowns all around I've seen in college football this season in meaningful games. I'm not talking about like South Carolina versus Western Atlantic VU middle school. Like, I mean, in a real game. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. And so we'll come back to those guys in a minute. Let's jump over. You guys want to watch the highlights of the you guys want to watch the highlights of the Miami Ole Miss game with me? Because that was a much better game. Much better game. I don't like doing the long one. Let's do here's a 5-minute one. We'll do that one. Nobody cares about the intro, man. Let's get to it. Nobody cares about kickoff. Boop, field goal. Is this the pick? See, when we saw this at the beginning of the game, I was like, oh, yeah. Ole Miss looking good. Ole Miss looking good. And then he slows down. He's like, oh, shit. That right there was kind of an indicator that they weren't taking the game seriously. And it showed. It ended up showing. And Miami comes right down the field. By the way, Miami's offensive line was getting great push all night long. There was just nothing Miami could do to stop. Nothing Ole Miss could do to stop Miami. Miami was just pushing them around. Just pushing them around. Field goal's good. Fast forward. What do we got here? All day. Nice, pretty ball. That's an NFL throw right there. Wide open receiver. And you're like, yay, touchdown, Miami. Another field goal. Or did he boink this one? Oh, he got it. Another field goal. Missed it. Another field goal. Made it. Carson Beck drops back. Gets sacked. 3rd and 16. Turnover on down. Not turnover on downs. Boom. Field goal. Field goal. Field goal. Field goal. Field goal. Carson Beck dropped quick out screen. Nice moves here. Just Never should have got by and squeaked through. No, break it down for him. Drops back, looks, throws, bang. Great throw here. This was just kind of a heavyweight fight back and forth. Heavyweight fight back and forth. Bang, touchdown. And all of this happened here in the final moments of the game. In Miami, with 58 seconds left to go, this was poor clock management on Ole Miss's part when they got down in the red zone. They should have tried to drain off more time, or at least made Miami burn their timeouts. And then Miami just comes right down the field, and guess who? Carson Beck runs it in for a touchdown. And he knew it too. He already dropped the ball, like he dropped it down to his side because he already knew. He's like, there's nobody around me." He's like, "We're not done yet." Deep kick. Ole Miss takes it in the end zone. Now, this last drive here, great pass here to the middle of the field. Ole Miss still has one timeout. Ball's down on about the 46-yard line here. Clock stops, long enough to move the chains. They spike the ball. Spot 2nd and 10. Drops back. Steps up in the pocket. Throws short here across the middle of the field. Goes down. You got to call a timeout here, right? Timeout. This is just a big, deep pass. Big, heavy pass. Offensive line collapses immediately. Big throw to the end zone. And there's some PI here. And I would have thought they would have called this because he's getting pulled by the jersey. And I'm not making excuses for Ole Miss. But in moments like that, your job as a referee is to see that. And they saw it. They just didn't call it. Now, that doesn't mean that Ole Miss would have won the game, but it just kind of goes back to the whole thing this season about how terrible officiating has been all around. It's just been terrible. Beck had a lot of bad balls at wide open receiver. Well, he always does. But it doesn't seem to be hurting too bad this season. So, yeah. So, I spilled some coffee. Got to clean that up. A lot of bad calls, both games. I mean, nothing super impressive from what I saw. But now we've got the lineup, the matchup of Indiana versus Miami for the national title. And Indiana is a matchup predictor has got them at 68.3% over Miami. And if Indiana plays like they played against Oregon, nobody can beat them. What a Cinderella story for Indiana. They've absolutely played their tails off. So checking something real quick. And see, here's what's crazy. Is if you go back and you look, it was like their 2026 recruiting class is 31 nationally. It was 71st for the 2025 roster. The 2025 season, a few 5 stars, but a decent group of 4 stars. They have not been running the top of the leaderboard for recruiting rankings when it comes to college football recruiting. I mean, so Kirk Cignetti has done a phenomenal job. I mean, he just has. I mean, he's beaten top names in college football. I mean, he's beaten in 1 year. In 1 year, he's beaten Ohio State, he's beaten Alabama, and now he's beaten Oregon. I don't know what to tell you guys other than this is such a Cinderella story. They beat Iowa, they beat Oregon twice in the same season. They beat Ohio State, they beat Alabama, they beat and honestly, they're probably going to beat Miami. I don't know what's going to happen. Woo. I don't know what's going to happen after that, but I can tell you this. Somebody is going to come along with so much money that Kirk Signetti can't turn it down. I don't want to hear that they paid for an extension or he signed a contract. That don't mean crap anymore. Um, Indiana just ain't got that. Just ain't got enough there to pull him continually, because right now he's making Kirk Cinetti is making like 11.5 million a year under an 8-year contract extension signed in October. Back in October, maybe he stays. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Um, but his base salary is 500,000 a year. Marketing and promotional income is 9.65. Retention bonus paid 1 million. I think when you got programs that can come along and just write a big check as they want to, I don't think he's going to stay in Indiana. Have you been to Indiana? The weather's terrible. Yeah. So I don't blame him. 225 girl. I mean, it's one of those things where if you get a chance, I mean, think about this. If you see a guy that can take a roster like what you just saw and basically, I mean, if he beats Miami, it's a perfect season. It's an undefeated season, and only a handful of teams have ever done it. Georgia's one of them, but LSU is one of them. But that's a rare feat in this day and age, and it also kind of throws the whole thing into chaos whenever you say, "Well, there's no more dominant football teams." Okay, okay. They looked dominant as hell last night. They looked really dominant, and they dominated Alabama. Oh well, they only beat Ohio State 10-13. Okay, so they had a bad games. There's been plenty of teams that have been dominant throughout seasons that's had a bad game, but they find ways to win them. These guys have played extremely well, and Kirk Signetti is doing probably some of the best coaching I've ever seen. So. Oh, and by the way, there's this is the funniest thing I've seen recently is that you've got so many fans that are like, "Oh, the SEC just means more." Like they're ripping on the SEC because the SEC had a down year, and it's like, yeah, SEC had a down year, sure did, and they still got 1, 2, 3, 4 teams in the playoff. That's a down year for the SEC, though. Well, they didn't win all those games. It's the playoff. These are good teams. We're not saying other conferences can't have good teams. We're just saying that on the average, SEC is a better football league. Nobody will disagree. What's going on, Steve? Steve says at least Mendoza is a senior. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Keep it going. So I don't know who they're going to replace him with, but Mendoza was absolutely an elite talent. I mean, if you go back and you look at where's it at? Roster. No stats. Stats. There we go. So Fernando Mendoza. He threw for right at so far about 3,400, 73% completion percentage, 41 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. It's pretty damn good. And he's also rushed 83 times for 284 yards, averaging 3.4 yards a carry. Keep in mind, he's been sacked 22 times. I don't know that anybody can replace that guy. That's like Joe Burrow-esque style and talent. The thing that's crazy to me is that going back and looking at what has happened in the past with some of these players being able to get waivers and all this stuff, Trinidad Chambliss's waiver was denied. And I'm for the life of me can't figure it out because that would have just been his 6th year. And I know 6 is a lot. That would have been his 6th year, but Carson Beck's currently playing in his 7th. So why was his waiver denied? I would have loved to have seen this guy play more. Oh my goodness. What an electric player. Trinidad Chambliss, I mean, realistically, this guy has 3,937 yards, 22 touchdowns, 3 INTs, 133 rushes for 527 yards. I mean, he really good, and he's fun to watch. Even when he was beating Georgia, Georgia would break through Ole Miss's line. Trinidad Chambliss running for his life, makes like a 30-yard crossbody pass. And I'm not saying they caught the ball and ran for like 10 more yards, and that was really a 20-yard pass. I'm saying he threw the ball through the air like 20 yards, and I'm like, my God, the only way to beat that guy is in his sleep with a stick. He's good. He's good. The media narrative saying that the SEC has declined in the NIL era, can't stack teams and talent, is even all over. Maybe, but it's always going to take a loop around. It's always going to take a loop around. It's just what it does. But yeah, so the media narrative. It's always the media narrative. But looking at what we got coming up, the Miami Indiana game, we'll talk about that some more, but not today. We'll go over some brief stuff here just to kind of show you how these teams kind of match up. Mendoza's got 3,350 yards. Carson Beck's got right at 3,600. Fletcher, their running back, has 1,080 yards. Hemby, their running back, has 1,060 yards. Malachi Toney has basically 1,100 yards passing, and Cooper has 870. Their leading sack guy is Mesidor, and he's at 10.5, and Indiana's leading sacker is Hardy at 8. I mean, their leading tackler is Tour. I think that's how you say his name. He's got 73, and Hardy, who's also their lead sacker, has 99. So, I mean, if you look at the past few games, they gave up 27 points to Ole Miss. Indiana gave up 22 points to Oregon. When they played Ohio State, they beat them 24-14. They beat Alabama 38-3. Texas A&M 10-3. Pitt 38-7. VD Virginia Tech 34-7. I mean, both of these teams have really good defenses. Both of these teams have good offenses. I personally feel like Indiana's offense might be better, but that's just me. So, well, guys, that's it for me for a Saturday with no college football. Ugh, I hate saying it. And unfortunately, there's not going to be another Saturday for college football for quite some time. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in. If this is your first time here, hit like, subscribe. Please share the channel. I think we're trying to get to like 7,200 by the end of the season here, which we should be able to do. Let's see where we're at. We're at 7,188, getting close to 7,200. Keep driving those numbers, guys. We really appreciate your help. We've picked up about 50 subscribers here in the past 28 days. Sometimes the YouTube algorithm is not too kind. It doesn't push out the videos the way we want it to, but maybe that's because I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. But I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. The season is practically over, but the college football never ends. So here we are in January, and let me point something out to you. If we look just a little bit further down the road, we start seeing spring games in mid-April. You're going to see the transfer portal is going to be lighting some stuff up. You're going to see some stuff move around there. You're probably going to see some more coaches get shifted around. Recruiting is going to continue to be a factor. You're going to see some teams get NCAA sanctions. You're going to see some coaches get fired. You're probably going to see some players get arrested. I mean, it never ends. It never ends. So I really appreciate you guys being on. Yeah, we did pick up some power through the portal. There's no doubt it. So yeah, hit that up. Also, in the off season, we're gonna have the Slob Olympics. It's gonna be in Nashville this year, I believe. You can go over and check out Uncle Lou's channel. I think he's got the links up or how to find that information. If you want to come join us, come hang out with us. Lots of your favorite YouTubers are gonna be there, and you guys will get to see us do some of the silliest stuff you've ever seen. It's a fun time. I am the only 2-time Slob Olympic champion. Very proud of that fact. I was the first. I was the original, the OG Slob Olympic champion. And then a couple of years later, I had to reclaim my title. We're looking to reclaim it again. We do trivia. We do, I think we've done the 40-yard dash in the past. Just a lot of fun stuff. Paper, rock, scissors is always a fun one. Just fun stuff. Hang out with you guys. We have a good time. So hit the like, comment, share button down below. Don't forget to tune in when we have our next video. We will do another video on the upcoming Miami versus Indiana National Championship. We'll see you guys real soon. Don't forget what we say around here. Have a great day. God bless. Go Dogs.